Hi, I'm Brenton Goodman, and this is You Decide. Today, I want to talk about whether you can be fired for your speech. Most people know the First Amendment protects freedom of speech, but it doesn't protect everything. The Constitution mainly stops the government from limiting your speech, but it doesn't always stop private companies or other people from reacting to what you say. If you work for a private company, your boss usually can fire you for things that you say that they don't like. Courts give businesses a lot of control so they can run smoothly. The idea is just like you can quit a job whenever you want, your employer can let you go whenever they want, unless there's something illegal about it. Examples of when it would be illegal for a private company to fire you over speech: if it's really discrimination in disguise, like firing someone because of race or gender, or if there's a contract, like a union agreement, that limits reasons for firing. Things work differently if you work for the government. Courts use a balancing test. That means they weigh two things: your right as a citizen to speak out on public issues, the government's need to run efficiently without workplace drama, or loss of trust. So if a government employee speaks out on a topic that matters to the community, like politics or corruption, the courts usually give that more protection. But if the speech is just about personal workplace complaints, like, oh, my boss is unfair, it usually doesn't get First Amendment protection. So the first thing courts will always ask is whether the employee's speech relates to any matter of public concern. To determine that, the court looks at the content, context, and form of speech the employee used. If it does, then the court applies its balancing test. If it does not, then the government can fire the employee unless prohibited by federal or state law. An example of this would be like if an employee complained about illegal activity by government officials internally, they can be protected by whistleblower statutes. Assuming the employee's speech was as a citizen on a public matter, the court then asks whether the speech restriction on the employee is necessary to operate efficiently and effectively. Courts also look at how and where the speech happened. Was it public? Was it private? Did it disrupt the employee's work or the government office? If the speech makes it hard for the office to function, then the government may have a good reason to fire the employee. Now, courts have found that a government employee can be fired in the following situations: when a government lawyer passed out a questionnaire that asked other employees for their views on employee morale, when a police officer sold a video on an adults-only section of eBay that showed him stripping off the police uniform and performing adult content, and when a government attorney gave his supervisor a memo expressing his concern that an affidavit that the office had used to obtain a search warrant contained serious misrepresentations. And the court has found that a government employee cannot be fired when a high school teacher wrote a critical letter to a local newspaper reflecting on the administration of the school system, when an employee commented critically about the president to a coworker after hearing of an unsuccessful attempt to assassinate the president, and when a school disciplined their coach for praying at the 50-yard line immediately after football games while he was still on duty. So, when discussing whether someone can be fired for expressing their views on Charlie Kirk, DEI, or any other matter, you now have the tools to allow you to decide. Thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe, and leave comments below.